What was that? Y'all, not a whole 10 minutes of no audio. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to my tribe, y'all. My God. This like my probably third time or fourth time today trying to go live. And it just was not happening. So we got it. Let me go in here. I'm gonna have to delete probably whatever. I don't know if it published because it didn't ask me. But y'all, the whole time talking, okay. Anyways, thank y'all for Dana and Yolanda. I see it probably deleted your comment in the studio because I deleted. I think did I delete it? I was trying to delete the okay, let me delete it. Cause I don't want y'all going back and watching all that crazy. It wasn't crazy. It's just I didn't know, y'all. It's like 3 apps. I meant 3 comments. I got it. So I'm finna delete those. I meant not comments, y'all. 3 videos of me going live, and it's me not talking about anything. So I'll have to delete that so y'all can know. But anyways, I'm trying to do a Q&A. I promise I am. I'm trying to. That's the plan. That was my plan, is to do a Q&A today. And even to just read the comments, because I don't always go in and respond to them right away. But today I'm going to read what I see, and then I'll go back in and try to figure out how to delete these other ones. So anyways, here we go, y'all. All right, so let me go back to my comments so I can read what y'all be saying and respond. And I'm gonna start from the one that I was just talking about. All right. I just hate that because now I have to go in to non-responded. Okay. Thank you. All right, so here we go. So I was reading a comment from Coastal Living, Mississippi 118. This is the most recent comment besides Yolanda Smith. Thank you, Yolanda, for telling me that I ain't have no sound. Okay, so Coastal Living Mississippi says just becoming SPD tech. Oh, maybe he's saying just become, or they saying just becoming a SPD tech is much better. You don't have to deal with the doctors, and you don't have to mop floors in the OR. And my response to Coastal Living was like, they absolutely right. You know, working at SPD is a lot less stressful, and you won't have to mop OR floors, but surgical techs make more money, so it depends on how you want to play the game. Like you can go become a surgical tech and still work in SPD and not have to mop OR floors. But the thing about mopping OR floors is not all facilities make you mop as a surgical tech, because some places have an actual OR turnover team, and then you don't have to worry about turning over the rooms. So I've been to places where we had a team where literally, like, once you get done with your case, you push your cart to the decontam area, and then the OR turnover team come in. And so it depends. And then too, I will say, if you work at like a surgery center, or if you're working at a like a smaller practice or something, you probably will have to turn over your instruments and turn over your room, because it's not a big enough team. Like it's not a lot of staff there. So you might end up having to turn your room over. But not all. I've been to places where I didn't have to turn over my room. Especially like once I became a first assistant, sometimes like I had to go to another room, so I ain't had time to turn the room over, right? All right, so I'm going to another question. Well, that was a comment, but I did respond to that comment on online, so that person can go back and see it. But Showers 22 made a comment on my last video, which was let's go to get ready with me to go to my part-time surgical tech job. And what she said was, her question was, are private practices more lenient with the body sprays and nail colors, nail/colors? She said she worked at a hospital and a girl just got fired for that. Just curious if maybe outside this setting it's less strict. And for me to answer her, I'm gonna just say it's really based off of your management. So most ORs have like a policy, and it could be strict or lenient, but it's only enforced by the management team. So you might be at a place where, yeah, they say you can't have your nails, um you can't have artificial nails. That's kind of like a norm. They don't want you to have artificial nails. I don't have artificial nails, but I do get my nails polished with color, and I also get them gel. So it's polished for me, but at the same time, I do know some places only want you to wear like natural colors, and you just kind of, it's like a hit and miss. Some places gonna say something and some of them don't. A lot of the major, like big facilities, they probably got more they're probably a lot more strict than like a smaller facility. But at the end of the day, I think it's based off your management. Now, if somebody got fired, she said, because of that, like the body spray and the nails. So if the girl got fired, I'm gonna pretty much tell you that she didn't get fired for that. She probably got fired for something else. Like they probably had already told her not to be either getting her nails done like that, or the color, or too much body spray or something. But I done been to places where my charge nurse, like, you could smell that she had been in somewhere and she's already gone. So that's why I think it just depends on the facility and the management on how strict they want to be. But I work at a private practice, so at the private practice I work at, it's a cosmetic plastic surgery center, and most of our patients that come in there, they pretty girls, right? So they into all of that. Like, I have to you want to look a certain way, and so I'm gonna have my nails done. It's gonna be a conversation between, like, maybe not the patients. Sometimes if I don't see patients, but when I go into the facility, like, I want to look put together, and I feel like having my nails done at a private practice, a plastic surgery practice, is part of my, like, now I won't say it's part of my uniform, but I want to look good because the patients coming in, they getting lip fillers, they getting beauty cosmetic stuff done. So I just want to fit into that world. I like body spray. I like getting my nails done, so I ain't gonna lie, but I like body sprays and stuff. And so if my physician said something to me about it, I would address it. Especially if I was at a facility where we had sick patients, because you don't want to wear body spray if you're around people that you could trigger like an asthma attack or something like that. So most of our patients are healthy, all of it, because it's cosmetic and it's an elective procedure. So we're not doing sick people like that. And if they're gonna be triggered by something like perfume or something like that, then they probably got other health issues going on, so they probably wouldn't be seeing us anyways. But to answer her question, I do think it's more lenient at certain places than others, but I think it all boils down to the management team. Like, if somebody getting fired for their nails and they body spray and stuff, like, I think it's more to it than that. It's not just either they don't like her or they done said something to her multiple times and she wasn't listening. So then it becomes like, now you being like, you're not following the rules, and we done already addressed it. So that's probably more of a reason why they fired her. But I don't know. I don't really want to work nowhere anyways where I got to be like, if it's that strict, because, like, who micromanaging like that? Like, well, who got time to do that? If the person, because this is what I'm finna say, if we working in a field where you doing what you need to be doing, ain't nobody really worried about your nails unless your nails is too long. And like I say, if they are artificial, then they might have an argument there. But if you getting like gel polish, and honestly, y'all, with the body spray and stuff, like, my body spray is from Bath and Body Works, so it's pretty decent, but it's gonna be, it ain't gonna be so strong, you know what I'm saying, unless I keep applying. And people, sometimes we do go to the locker room. If you've been in a facility and they have like a female locker room, the female locker room smell like perfume. Like, whether it's perfume that they spray in there, or that they spray on them, or that's just on them, on their belongings. We wear perfume and we wear things that smell good. So I just find it, whoever fired her for that, it was more to it than that. Like, it wasn't just that. So on one of my shorts I posted a little while ago, it says 2 reasons I don't invest in the 401k. And I'm gonna talk about that because somebody, let me see, I don't know how you say that. Harder 9791 respond has a comment and says not investing in it is wrong. Time is on your side when you're younger. Investing a percentage of your money can grow to be a lot when you get older. Tell us if this was right in 20 years. And so when I say I don't invest in a 401k, let's talk about that, because I'm not telling you to not invest in a 401k. I'll be telling y'all what I'm doing with my money. Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't invest in a 401k, just for those that don't know. I don't normally work at a facility long enough to get the match. So for me, most of the places that I done seen and done worked offer you a match, but you have to provide them, you have to stay there for a certain amount of time. I don't stay at places 5 years. And that's pretty much the common amount of time that you have to stay somewhere to get the match. That's one thing, because at one point I was traveling all the time, right? And so if I'm traveling, I'm not worried about a 401k. I'm trying to take the contract with the most money. So that might not be the same agency, and so that's one part of it. Now, the other part is I actually study my own, like, finances, or on my own, I should say, finances and different ways to invest. I don't necessarily need a 401k for that, because to me a 401k is for somebody that doesn't necessarily understand how to invest into the stock market, but still wants to participate in the stock market. So I invest a portion of my money every month by myself without putting it in the 401k, because I already invest in the stock market on my own. Like, I literally have a brokerage account with Charles Schwab, where I go in and I pick, either I'm gonna pick a ETF, an index fund, or I might pick an individual stock. Now, how I pick my individual stocks is I look at the top performing companies in the S&P 500, and I pick which one of those companies that I use a lot. So for example, I use Amazon. So let's just say this one month I don't want to actually hold on, y'all, like, I'm about to sit on my microphone. Let's just say one month I don't want to purchase the S&P 500 because I done been using a lot of Amazon, or I've been purchasing a lot of things on Amazon. Then I might go in that next month and actually purchase some shares of Amazon, instead of purchasing the S&P 500. But even if I purchase the S&P 500 only for the next, we'll say, 10 or 20 years, I would still receive about an 8 to 10% return on my money once I sold the stock, right? Just even if I don't invest in any individual stocks, if I only invest in the S&P 500, over time, I will receive about an 8 to 10% return on. That's a simple way. So if you want to look at a 401k, if you're gonna compare it to something, let's compare it to the S&P 500. Because with that 401k, you can't go in and pick individual stocks and purchase. It don't work like that. At least most of the ones don't work where you can go in and pick individual stocks. You're pretty much limited to what you can invest in the 401k. I wanted to have more control over my money and how I was going to invest it. So I learned the stock market and how to invest in the stock market. And over time, I've practiced putting my money into a brokerage account and going in and either having it set up on auto where it automatically invested for me, or now I want to go in and pick them and say, okay, I'm gonna buy, this for February, I purchased a share of Home Depot. I purchased a share of Home Depot because I keep running back and forth to Home Depot to get gardening supplies. So that's how I see investing my money. So that's one thing that I do. I also practice creating online businesses. So either it's gonna be YouTube as an at-home online business, or it might be I have a studio in the back, so I might be doing hair. It could be me creating a ebook, or any kind of business, or any kind of content or a product. If I want to do that month, then that's where some of the money goes. So I'm an active investor into into my retirement and into growing my money. I'm not one of the people that just want to put my money in a 401k and hope when it's time for me to retire that it's enough money. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm not telling y'all to do that. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And when we're looking at investing in a 401k, I'm gonna just do a simple Google search for y'all right now, and I'm gonna tell you what the average return on the 401k is, and we can talk about the difference. So I'm gonna type into Google. I'm finna say, what's the average return on my investment? Oh, or I just put, what's the average return rate for a 401k? So let me show y'all. I hope y'all can see what I put in there. So I'm gonna just tell you what the first thing that pop up is this AI tool. It corrected my grammar. It says the average return for a 401k typically is between 5% and 8%, right? That's just average. It could be less and it could be more, but we're gonna say that's the average. So now I'm gonna ask it, what's the average return for a investing in the 401k? I'm gonna just say investing, and I mean not a 401k in the S&P. Well, it's at S&P in the S&P 500. I'm gonna do that because I think that'll be more comparable because you just investing in one thing. The S&P 500. Hold on. What's not how to? What's the average? Oh, I didn't put that. Ooh, that's a B. The average return. And we're gonna see what it say. Okay. Just with this simple Google search, it says the average return for investing in the S&P 500 is around 10% a year, including dividends. This average is based on the S&P 500. So it also says when adjusted for inflation, the return is closer to 6 to 7%. So they didn't give me that stat for the 401k. But it's about the same thing because with a 401k, most of them it's not taxed up front. So they're probably about the same or maybe a little bit more with the S&P 500 because it is saying that even though with that being said, it's still around a 10% return of your money. So even with if I'm looking at the 401k as a investing or a retirement tool, then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, at minimum I might get 5%, at maximum I might get 8%. But with the S&P 500, I might get 10% on average. And once you adjust for inflation, both of the numbers drop for the S&P 500 and the 401k. So I like having those 2% because some people are like, well, it's just 2% difference. But when you're looking at a 2% difference on compounding interest, it's more like 20 the 30% difference versus 2 points. So people will be like, oh, what's the difference? They feel like it's not a big difference between a 2 point. So from 8% to 10%, they feel like that's not a big difference. But it's not a 2 point difference. It's more like a 20 plus point difference. So it is in your own interest to learn how to invest your own money. I do feel like that. But the biggest way to get your return on your investment is through business. That's how most wealthy people have become wealthy. For the ones that haven't had anybody leave them any money, they've created a business and they've either sold it or the business has grown and they've gotten a larger return on their money, larger than 10%, larger than 15 and 20. So when you're looking at investing your money, I think it's better for you to be active, especially when you working a job, because you need the money to make money faster. You don't want to you don't want to wait and 20-30 years to actually start seeing a little bit of money. You been waited 20 years by by putting money in a 401k, and you wait 20 years, and then you 20 years older, and you realize that this ain't enough money, and now you got to keep working into your late 60s and stuff like that. So that's the easy way if you want to do it. But if you want to have like a safety net of money and making sure you invest, I'm gonna say, okay, do like the stock market, learn the stock market. Like, that's the simplest way for people to learn, I would say, or it's not to learn, but to invest the money. I think that's simple. But a 401k is also simple if you don't want to be an active investor. If you want to be an active investor, learn how to invest into a brokerage account. Like, you can start with Robinhood or one of those apps. Like, that's fine, because that's where I started. But you can also later on go into like Charles Schwab and Fidelity, because it's a little more complex, but it's still a way, you got to progress. You got to start somewhere. So I would say start with Robinhood if you don't want to invest in a 401k. If you want to just keep investing in the 401k, and let's just say you got extra money left over, then maybe you can put, some money into the stock market if you don't feel comfortable with not investing in the 401k. Or if you're going to be at your place for a while and you know that I'm going to be able to take all the money, including the match, because at least the match will offset the taxes that you're going to pay on your 401k when you withdraw it. So to me, and also another thing with the 401k is the downside to me, it was I can't use the money if I need it. So let's just say I go ahead and I invest my money in the 401k, but I'm like 40. Like right now I'm like 41. And maybe I want to go buy a car. Well, not a car. Let's just say maybe I want to go purchase a house. Like, maybe I got 20 something, 40 something $1,000 in my 401k. Now, I'm not gonna get into the tax part of having a 401k in real estate, but we just follow me for a second. If I got $20,000 in my 401k and I want to go purchase the house, I can't go withdraw them $20,000 to go purchase the house if I'm not 59 and a half without me being penalized. I didn't like that. I also didn't like that it wasn't taxed. So that means even if I do pull it out at 42 or 41, I'm gonna get penalized on it, and I'm gonna get taxed on it because it's pre-tax money. And we're gonna pay taxes here in America. So I just didn't like that. Now, I don't have a 401k, but I do have a Roth IRA as well. Now, I have a Roth IRA, and they are differences because you can contribute more money into a 401k. So maybe for some people that's a benefit. Than what you can in a Roth IRA. You can only put like 7,000, or maybe it might be like 7,500 this year. But that's max, right? But that grows tax free in that structure, in that financial structure. So I do have a Roth IRA, and I use that just because, to me, that's just like another way to put some money to the side for later. Who knows what'll happen to it. But even inside my Roth IRA, I purchase stocks. So either way you go, you have to learn. I feel like for the average person, we needed to know how to purchase shares and stocks and stuff like that, because if you just put your money and let somebody else invest it and not understand how the game is being played, then you banking on somebody else doing this for you. And I just feel like that's way more dangerous. So I do have a Roth IRA. I maxed that out. While I'm putting money into the Roth IRA, I'm also purchasing shares outside of my Roth IRA just through my brokerage account. That's why I don't have a 401k. Also, on top of that, I purchased my life insurance is an index universal life insurance policy. So that's another place where I put my money at, just in case I need it later, because the whole point of you having money is to have access to it. Now, if you want to get some money and you don't want to have access to it, and you're not worried about it because you got money rolling in, you rolling in dough, and you ain't worried about an emergency, then go put your money in a 401k and just know that you don't pull it out until you need it. Or you can roll it over. Like, it's other ways to roll over your 401k. But just know, if you put pre-tax money into your 401k, when you pull it out, unless you learn the financial tax loops, you're gonna pay taxes on that money when it come out. Okay, so I don't have a 401k because I invest in the S&P 500. I purchase individual stocks or shares of companies that I use. So, i.e., I use Amazon, I use Netflix, which I don't have. I sold my Netflix, but I did have Netflix. I use Home Depot, Walmart, McDonald's. Those things I'll go on Sony. I'll go in and purchase individual shares of those, or individually outside of the index funds, if I catch myself shopping there a lot. I think the contributions aren't taxed or penalized if you withdraw from your Roth 401k before 59 and a half, but the earnings will be taxed when you buy a home. Right. So that's why I was saying I ain't gonna get into the taxes part, because I do know it does when you purchase in a house, and with capital gains and 401ks and Roths and things like that, you can finesse the system a little bit, but the average person not. So most jobs now have started offering the Roth 401k, but they wasn't offering that up front, right? They was offering just a regular 401k. So that's the difference between a Roth 401k and just like a traditional one, right? If I'm mistaken. But your contributions have to be taxed on the way coming out, because we have to pay taxes only unless, like you said, if you purchase in a house, will be taxed when you buy a house or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that, because I haven't purchased the house using my money for my 401k, so I can't give y'all the tea on that. But I can tell you for sure, like, I done pulled money out of 401k. I done needed my money. I wanted to purchase something else and didn't have enough money to purchase it, and wanted to use that money. Or even if it's like a family emergency, you want to be able, I need to have access to the money without me being penalized on using the money. So that's why I didn't choose a 401k, but I did choose a Roth IRA. So I think what I'm trying to explain to y'all is, the more you learn and the more research you do on your finances, you'll be able to decide what works best for you in your life. So for me, like I say, I do have an index universal life insurance policy, because one, I got to have life insurance on me anyway. And for two, I might as well be able to use, or at some point use, the money, because even with a universal life insurance policy, it's not the best for everybody, because we still got fees that's got to be paid on it, and it still takes time for that money to grow. But once the money grows, you'll have access to it, and you can use it, and it still will be compounding. So the part of the game is compounding interest. So that's what we got to understand too. And I'm learning this on my own, y'all. It's nobody. I didn't take no financial class. I did get my life insurance agent license, so most people probably don't know that about me, but I did that for myself, just so when I'm, making money, I know what to do with it, and not just be lazy, or just hope somebody else do everything for me. And I'm not saying people lazy. I'm just saying I wanted to be more active. And I do think I take that back. I do think it's a little bit lazy if you don't take some kind of control over your finances and learn it. If you're going to invest in a 401k, why not go learn about finances? Why not go learn about the stock market, right? That's the only thing. It don't make sense to be investing your money into something that you don't understand, because the less you understand about it, the worse off you'll become later on in life when you actually need it, and then you older and you ain't making as much money, and then you sitting around here struggling. So that's the only thing. But if you can do multiple things, like I just decided, if let's just say if I was to go work somewhere full time, I would, and I know I'm gonna be there for a long period of time, I would invest in my 401k, but it wouldn't be the first thing I invest in, and it definitely wouldn't be the only thing I'm investing in. I think that's another issue that people aren't looking at. Like, it's the only thing you're investing in, when that's just like, that's too risky. That's too much risk to only be investing in a 401k for your retirement or any type of investment. That's the only thing you have. That's too risky for me. So as of right now, no, I don't have a 401k. I don't have any intentions on being at a facility longer than 5 years. I have no intention on putting my money somewhere where I'm not involved in its growth. But even though I'm talking about those different ways that you can invest the money, whether it's a 401k, a Roth IRA, or insurance, those aren't the fastest ways to increase your wealth. The fastest way to increase wealth is business. And so that's also where I put a lot of my money. I don't purchase a lot of product and stuff as far as physical products, but because I'm really into this digital. Like I'm all into digital products. I'm all into growing businesses online. I just love how simple it is for people to actually enter a business online because the overhead is so low. Part of my journey so far, I've been a hairstylist, and when I went into cosmetology, I started noticing how expensive it was to be in that business, especially if you want to have your own building and have people work for you. So that kind of deterred me from more of a physical location, like a barbershop or a salon, and how much money it went into actually having that. Like that just turned me off. And it did make my brain start working. It was like, well, what do you like? And that's when I realized that, well, digital, building businesses online, and even if you build it online, maybe later on you can transition to a brick and mortar business. But if you build you a business online, it costs you nothing. Like literally, we can build businesses with our phones and like not even need a laptop. So if you really want to listen to what I'm saying, I'm not telling you what to invest in, and I'm not telling you that what you're investing in is wrong, but what I'm telling you is to start you a business at home. If you don't hear nothing else I tell you, start you a business at home, because it's gonna be one of the places that you can how to say, it's the fastest way that you can create more income for yourself. And I say that because if you work in a W-2, and I feel like I be saying this all the time, y'all. If you work in a W-2, you need some kind of way to offset the taxes that you're being taxed on, or the money that you're being taxed on as a W-2 employee. The best way, or the easiest way, well, I won't say the best way, but I'm gonna say the fastest way to offset your taxes is to have a business, and not just a business, at home business, because then you get to write off some of your home expenses, some of your living expenses get wrote off. So if you really want to start making money, and you really want to get a good return on your investment, start your business. It's real simple. Like, it sounds crazy. Like, what you mean, Kiara? That's the fastest way. It's the fastest way because literally when you go do your taxes, like everybody doing their taxes right now, when you go do your taxes and you put in your W-2 and that's all you got, and then let's just say the next year you put in your W-2 and you see how they taxing you, and you be like, dang, I made this much money. Especially when I was making money, like, y'all, it was a point in time where I was making money and I put in how much money I was making with my W-2, and then I went in and put in my 1099 income, which dropped my taxable income, and then I also put in that I had my own home business, which dropped my taxable income so much that they end up having to pay me money back. It's not always like that, but it happens enough. It happened enough for me to notice, like, I need to keep having an at-home business, and I need to tell other people that you need to do something from home. Even if you crochet, even if you, I don't care what you do. You could do anything. You can make stickers. I don't care. Just do something to offset your W-2 if you're gonna be working a W-2, especially if you're making like 40 something, 50 something dollars an hour, and you're being taxed at that at a 50, 60 something dollars an hour tax rate. You definitely need to have some kind of at-home business to offset. Sorry, y'all, because this car might be a little loud. You need to have some kind of at-home business to offset some of the income that you was taxed on. And that to me was the simplest way to do it, but not even realizing that that's what I was doing. Like, I didn't know that would have did that when I did it. I just knew I was working one year. I was working as a surgical tech, and I was doing hair, and I put in how much money I was for my W-2 form. I put that in, and it said, I think I was gonna get like a child tax credit, but it was still gonna be like $1,000 something. Like, it wasn't gonna be a whole bunch of nothing, and for me to get back, right? And so then I put in my my 1099 stuff, y'all. And when I say 1099, I'm talking about something simple as like I was doing Instacart, I think, that year. And then I was doing a Rise. So if y'all know about a Rise, that's a customer service platform where you can answer the phone for some of the top like Fortune 500 companies. So I was doing that. And I was able to and I still was doing hair. Like, I was still doing hair. So I was able to write off some of my not mortgage because I rent, but some of my rent, some of my car expenses, some of my cell phone, my electricity. I was able to write all that stuff off, or a portion of it, and it made my tax return like go up and up and up, because my businesses was taking like a small loss a little bit one year, especially the year after COVID. For my hair business, it took a hit during COVID because we couldn't do hair. So when I went and did my taxes, my income from my hair business was kind of low. So it don't always work like that, y'all. But when we looking at how some of these these big businesses and these billionaires doing it, they finessing the tax codes, and it's not like they cheating. It's like part of the game. So I'm gonna get off that because I went down a whole rant on me, like talking about taxes. I'm not or investing. And I'm not here to tell y'all what to do. Like, just I'm gonna say that I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I need access to my money. I want my money to grow as fast as it can grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest with you. In a 401k or any type of investing or retirement system that penalizes me for needing to use the money that I invest into it, it's just I can't do that right now because I ain't all the way where I need to be at, and I'm still trying to get there. And if I want to go buy something with, let's just say right now, if I need $20,000 and I got $20,000 in my stock market portfolio, I could just pull it out, and I just got to pay capital gains taxes on it. If it's capital gains, like, now what we're not doing is pulling out money out of the stock market if I'm in the red. And it's okay to be in the red sometimes because that's how the game is played. But you don't sell in the red. That's another thing. So you kind of have to weigh your options. But the chances of me having to wait another, so I'm 42. I'm going to be 42 this year. So 10. So if I got to wait another 17 years to have access to my money, if I put it in the 401k, then I got to wait 17 years to use it without being penalized on it. But if I put it in the stock market, even if I have to wait for it to come back up, it's not going to take 17 years. I might just have to wait to purchase the house, but I ain't going to be penalized on it, right? I'm just paying capital gains tax. So let me go back. Let's answer another question. I went all the way down the rabbit hole, didn't I? So I got a comment. It says, as a kid, I wanted to be a from, his name is Michael. No, his name is Keith Michael or Mikhail. He says that as a kid, he wanted to be a doctor or some type of surgeon. I'm now 52. I'm 52 now and doing SPD and signing up for ST and to FA. So I guess they're going to ST to FA, and it would be a lift to his self-esteem coming from the ghettos in the South. So I think that's kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? If you especially the older we get, because people be like, am I too old to be a surgical tech? And I think you're only too old to do what you think you're too old to do. I think if you want to do it, go do it. Do I think it's good? I think for older people becoming a surgeon tech is kind of sweet, only because you might not have no kids, and certain things might not hold you back. That will hold you back if you was younger with a younger family. But if you're older, if you like I feel like I'm in the older crowd of people right now because I'm getting, I'm 40. I'll be 42, and so as we get older, we don't have as many responsibilities with like younger kids, or some of us got young kids. But if you don't have no kids and no real responsibilities, the only thing I would say is that because it's a physically demanding job, just be prepared for the physical component. But I think being a surgical tech would be, that just knocked off my water. I think being a surgical tech would be great. And I commend you, Keith, I think it's McCall, for going back to school and pursuing, your somewhat of your dream, in your 50s. Because people don't do that. We get old and we think that we just got to stop doing stuff. Like, why? I think the older we get, I feel like the older I get, the more free I get, the more like I stop caring about what other people think. Okay, so I also got a comment that says, no, from No Capping Sports Legend. She says it sucks when you're starting anything in the medical field from scratch. It feels like you don't know anything versus someone with a background in the medical field. And she posted that on Why Do People Quit. on my video on why people quit being working as a surgical tech, and that's true. I do feel like, you know, I did have a upper hand coming into surgical tech because I was already an EMT. I was already in the military as a hospital corpsman, and I had been an EMT at one of the facilities I was stationed at, and so I did have a more of an understanding, especially of anatomy, because it's just so much going on in the human body. But I totally agree with what she's saying. I might go back. So I'm responding to some of these, and and some of them I don't have to respond to because the AI, the YouTube studio got AI wrapped up into it, and because it'll automatically respond like for me, or it'll give me a question or a response, I should say. So I'm gonna just say I agree with you. It definitely helps having medical experience when pursuing okay, y'all. / careers. All right, so next comment. Sorry if those charms bothering y'all, but I like it. Somebody says, do you need, oh, I already responded to that. Well, the question is, do you need prior experience to become a surgical tech? So the video is how to become certified surgical tech to a certified surgical assistant. And yeah, to become a surgical assistant, you do have to be, you do have to have experience, whether it's as a surgical tech, a nurse, or a physician assistant is also can be a first assistant. Oh, this comment is on one of my, so I'm not gonna read that because this is not, well, yes it is. It says using my YouTube, the video is using my YouTube, not my YouTube, is using YouTube to make money online while I work part-time as a surgical tech. So this person says, hello, they're a new subscriber. Y'all, this name I can't say, so I'm gonna just spell it. It's GGRG-8-XHNIV. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna just read this. It says, hello, new subscriber. I've been considering for a surgical tech program with a training hospital. The only question I have is, how are you treated in the OR? I have heard, or I hear so many negative comments about mistreatment. So the OR is, it could be good and it could be a bad place. I done had bad experiences, I done had great experiences. I do think a lot of times it is what we make it, but it is one of those fields where people can be a little harsh when they're communicating. Direct might not be for everybody as direct as some of the people are, especially when it's in a situation where you're like where you're dealing with somebody's life, if they're really sick. And when some of the surgeons and some of the staff speak to you, you know, they may talk to you in a way that they're just trying to get their point across as fast as possible. When you're dealing with surgeons, I do think based off of how they are trained, sometimes they just don't have manners. But I think once you learn your profession and become good at it, then the respect come with your experience. So, and if you're willing to learn and ask questions, but sometimes it can be a little rough, you know. But I also think it also it depends on you, what kind of person you are. Are you somebody that, you know, commands authority? Because you can still be, your energy can let people know not to play with you, like you. And if they don't, and if you are mistreated, you can quit. I'm a very much of an advocate of telling people to quit a job that is not treating them right. You have to know what you need to, you got to know like where your boundaries are and what you're willing to deal with, but just don't be like, I wouldn't necessarily quit because you don't like something, but I would quit if you were disrespected and mistreated. So I done been disrespected before, and I quit because you're not gonna talk about me, or you're not gonna be disrespectful to me or my ancestors or my culture or anything like that. Like, I done had that happen to me before, and I done had it happen where the administrative team didn't address it and pretty much just kind of brushed it under the table. So if that's what we doing, then find somebody else. Cause baby, I'm not her. I'm not built like that. Cause ain't no reason, it's no amount of money in this world that I'm gonna be willing to accept if I gotta, I don't have no self-esteem, or you gonna talk to me and I'm gonna just take it because I need the money. Like, it's not enough money in the world for me to just be okay with somebody if you don't like. Cause sometimes people don't like, especially. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. My bad. I thought I had it on Do Not Disturb, but I guess I did. But yeah. So, anyways, I forgot what I was talking about. So let me go back to the community, and then somebody posted. Let me see, Chella Bella Digital World. Is this the same one? She says, "Glad to see you. Hey, girl. Hey." She says, "I agree with a lot of what you said. Keep up the great work. Thank you, boo." All right. So let me see what else we can talk about on here. It says, "Oh, this is my homegirl from Corporate Journey Diaries." I actually know her from her Miss Queen Eats video. If y'all like mukbangs and cooking videos, but she talk about her corporate journey where she working from home right now. Thank you. I forget his name. So then it says, so I got another question. It says, can you complete the education online to become a surgical tech? They do have different programs out now where you can actually go in and do like the didactics, but you still would need a clinical version. So I don't know if you would have to find your own clinicals or something like that, but you can do some of your stuff online, but you still have to go get you have to go through an externship or clinicals. I did a short, and it says surgical tech, or no, surgical instruments sometimes have multiple names. And then somebody asked me what's the name of the book, and I think she's talking about the book, the instrument book that I showed in that video. Let me see. I'm gonna do a surgical instrument because I don't remember the name of that book, but it's one of the books that I always see in SPD. So normally at SPD they have the books that they would use of the company that they working with. So I can't remember the name of that book specifically. I guess I could look at the video. Let me see what I was showing. But I've learned about. Hold on, I'm gonna turn it down. Let me see what. Oh, V. Mueller. Okay, so that's the V. Mueller. Let me go see if I can find it to give y'all the exact. These books be in the V. Mueller instruments. Yeah. Instrument book. Oh, catalog. Because it is a catalog. Oh, you can't even buy it. I guess you can't buy it. Let me see. Yeah, it's not showing it to where I could buy that. But I think maybe they give them to you when you go to it's V. Mueller and Snowden Pincer surgical book. And so that's what, let me make sure I ain't missing that. That's what that book was in that video to, what's her name? What was her name? Natoya Bachelor, Bassel. Latoya Vassell 1736. I think that's what that was. So I'll go in and probably like type in some of this stuff later. He says thank you. T Bank says thank you. I'm gonna say you're welcome. Somebody from India asked if I can guide them. Hello, I'm from India. Can you guide me for MBS TSA exam? Yeah, I don't know. I might consider doing like a study session one day, but that's a lot. I don't know. I have to see how that goes. Let me see. So Janelle, it says I'm here for our key. Hey girl. With consistency, you'll definitely. Oh yeah, I was talking about growing my channel. Yeah, and when I talk about growing a business, I just love YouTube as a business. I don't know what this is. Duval Standard. Oh, this Miss Queen Eats. I'm like, who is this? She is like all over my comments. I love it. I'm gonna go in and respond to them a little bit more. I did post a video on me trying to focus on healthy habits or successful people habits, and so I still do that, y'all. That's like ingrained in me right now, especially with reading. A lot of people don't read. That's one thing you can do if you want to invest in yourself. That I count that as investing in myself, is reading books, self-help books, or any kind of book that's actually gonna give me some kind of insight or something on something I don't know. But I don't want to just be reading sometimes just for like entertainment. I'm not really into that. I posted a couple weeks ago. I posted a month ago. I've been overthinking what to post on my YouTube channel. And then I think her name is Teresa Renell. I just enjoy seeing people step outside of the box. So I'm giving you so much watch time and sub and blessings to you on your journey. I totally appreciate that, y'all, because I do be overthinking these videos, but it's all good. Somebody asked me about a perfume I had. I have to get the name of it because it's in Arabic. It's an oil, but I have to go back. Somebody posted, I think her name is Niaja. I don't know what that is. I think that's Niaja Janae. I don't know what that says, but she says her mom says doctors aren't nice. Maybe her mom is a surgical tech. I'm not sure. I posted a video how I was studied for a certified surgical tech exam in 2024. And Genevieve Johnson 466 says, may I ask about being an NCCT tech? They say it's a surgical tech. Is there much of a difference in pay? And thank you. They don't pay you different for the MBS TSA or the NCCT. You know, surgical techs get paid the same amount across the board. It don't matter if you got a degree, a certificate, a diploma. It don't matter where the certificate from. The facility will specify if they accept it or not, but I have been seeing where more facilities have been accepted the NCCT certification for surgical techs. It says, so this is on the why do surgical techs quit their jobs short, and it says, who's it, Shy Clips with a Z, says, I'm currently a patient transporter, been doing it for a year and some months now, walking around on 6 floors every day, and don't get me started on busy days. So the standing part definitely won't bother me. They're talking about standing up for long periods of time because that is a thing in the OR. As the OR tech, you will be standing. Won't bother me. And being treated, being treated shitty. Being treated shitty part I can relate to, because as a PT, a patient transport tech, we are not appreciated and will be disrespected numerous times. I have had fellow coworkers get fired because of it. Myself, I've also been disrespected, but not as much because I don't want to not so much because I don't want to brag, but I'm well liked, and because I'm well liked, just saying that. So that's the thing about it. Sometimes, like, it depends on your personality. If you got one of them like personalities where people just don't get along with you, then it might be difficult in the OR. But I'm not like, everybody don't like me, but a lot of times people don't like certain people because they might feel they might not like you because of your personality. They might not like you because of what they think, like who they think you are. You never really know. But that's not for you to worry about. If people don't like you, don't worry about that. Just do your job, as best as you can. Be polite when you need to. But I would say don't be letting people disrespect you, because like this, allowing yourself to be disrespected, just Lord, like it just shows other people that you allowed it, and they're gonna keep doing it. So don't stand for the disrespect. It don't matter. Like, don't be running to HR. I'm gonna tell you, just quit if you feel like, because don't ever be in fear of, and don't ever let somebody just try to make you feel like you're not important and stuff like that. Like, you have to be able to set boundaries and standards for yourself, and not let other people push you over. Like, that's not okay for no amount of money. Like, don't do that. Don't let people do that to you. Janae Fox 5285 has a question. It took me 2 months to respond to this. It says, question, do you think it is better to go for a 2-year associate surgical tech program, a fast track online program that's accredited, than offers an internship with no pay? I just think because you don't get paid for a 2-year internship, you don't get paid for a 2-year degree, it's no more money to get the degree than to get the program. So you don't get no more money for being a surgical tech with a degree than you do with a surgical tech that has a diploma or a certificate. It's the same amount of money. So I would say get into the game as fast as you can and get to the money, and then don't worry about the degree unless you're going back to school. If you're going to school, or if you have intentions on going to school, then you could do that. Get the degree and then go get your surgical tech job and continue building on your degree. This person said, I'm starting classes next year. I'm very, I think they say Makiwa Murray, PM6RV, says, I'm starting classes for surgical tech next year. I'm very excited. I'm also taking classes for EMT as well. I worked at daycares, fast foods, and stores like Walmart, making bare minimum, no career. I've worked as a caregiver in nursing homes, and I'm working at a nursing home right now as a housekeeper and a supervisor. And the human resource manager and racist employees are trying to get me fired for no reason. I got written up for no reason, and I didn't sign it. And I'm working with a woman that is not. And I'm working with a woman. This is not the first or last. It is always drama. I say to myself, okay, I see why people go into business for themselves. After becoming a surgical tech and an EMT, I'm going for paralegal and law. I got this. So yeah, that was a lot, but I think everybody should have their own business, regardless of if you want to have a job or not. I think you should have your own business, because you never know. You never know. But anyways, y'all, that's all I got for y'all in this video, because I actually am going to go get me some lunch. And so yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I know it took me a couple of tries to get this on here. I don't know what I was going through, so I'm gonna go in. I had to delete some of these these lives that I have on here, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section below. I am gonna do another I'm gonna continue to do the lives, because I do think that is more beneficial, and I don't have to go in and edit and all that stuff. So I'm gonna just post live here, hopefully once a week. That's my plans right now, and then I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.